we do have some of the major themes in there. The break-up poem, yeah, that's there. So I think I'll kick off with the love poem. So I had this really dodgy relationship with this guy who was 5 years older than me when I was 16. I felt so cool. We talked about Leonard Cohen and watched black and white movies. It was brilliant. And then I broke up with him because I don't like boy sex. I did tell him that. And then he started going out with someone in my friendship group 4 months later. So, and then he started emailing me that he loved me. We sort of had a little thing again afterwards, but he was still going out with her. So there was a lot of things I couldn't talk about when I was 17. So I just wrote poetry. So this is some from that era. Love's only special if you give it once. So I'll keep mine in a box. Deny its existence. Then I won't be tempted to give it. Just as a non-smoker doesn't need nicotine.
Yay!
A clean girl doesn't crave chemicals. Like ease and fags, love's better in its box. Doesn't get much more teenage than that. Short in my teenage poems, so you can sort of, yeah, I appreciate it. Oh. Right, what we go for? Okay, so on the love theme, and then it all got a bit dark. And something happened that was really difficult for me to talk about. It was my boyfriend forced me to have sex with him as I was breaking up with him. It's all a bit dark, confessional. I know it was terrible. It was really awful. But I wrote a poem, and that made me feel better. And it's okay now. That's what teen angst is all about. So it's fine. But it's quite nice to have an excuse to share that, because even just saying it makes it better. Right. So that's what it's all about. You sucked kisses, tied me down, smothered my protests. I was fucked without feeling. You desperately seeking to maintain our momentum by clinging to a dying corpse, licking the last beads of love. As I squirmed for freedom between circles of steel. Okay, and so part of being a teenager is all about sneaking down for fags. At least for me it was anyway. And so this is my sneaking down for a fag poem. We had this place near where I live. It's called Burn, which is like Celtic word for small stream. So I used to always go down there and be like, yeah, I'm walking the dog. Go for a cheeky one. I stumbled over branches. I tried to climb some trees. I scrambled through Celtic rainforest with trousers rolled to the knees. All to drag on a cigarette. But you can't breathe sodden cigs. Instead, summer's heavy juices seep like nicotine into skin. Why couldn't I have come for this instead of driven by my sin? Legs stung by nettles. I won't wear a skirt tonight, but maybe I'll cut down on the fags. Nature doesn't think them right. To write a fag that's totally wet. The problems of smoking and living in Ireland. So just before I left home, I used to always do this thing where I wrote poems for people because I was too tight to buy them presents. And as I was leaving to go to England, I wrote this poem for my mum. And it was the first poem I ever wrote that got an audience because my dad read it out to some people. That kind of gave me a nice boost to be like, oh, people want to hear my stuff, that's cool, even if it's my dad reading it. And my mum had a bit of background. My mum had a head injury when she was 20, so she had to relearn how to read and write and speak and stuff. So this poem was kind of like, it's all right, you did a good job despite everything. So let Springsteen sweep us around the kitchen floor. Let hugs hold eternal with love forevermore. Emotion outweighs always, your shriveled arm, your shoveled head, the words you never said. No agile athlete ever achieved your feat. No martyr on a cross bore your affliction with smiling eyes, determined heart, no need to prove you're smart. So forget the pretentious ones, screw the upper class. I love you for your laugh and for protecting my path. Emotion outweighs articulation, for you are a flawless child smith. Now you hammered, honed me. I'm a person I can live with. Michelle will notice I was much shorter in my youth. Definitely, I've made up for that in subsequent years. And so this, the last one, when I was a teenager, we had this thing, we had a GeoCity site, and me and a friend who I met in Salt Lake City, when I was on like a Catholic Protestant free trip to America thing, and we had lots of suicidal tendencies and stuff. It was all very teenager. I don't know how the Americans do it. And then also a friend of mine who I'd met at a public speaking competition, and we used to post up our poems and do comments and stuff. And because of this, I put the poem up on Facebook, and tagged him. And then he found the website, so I was looking at it just before I came out and like finding all the old stuff and everything. It's still there. So it's hilarious. So that's kind of like my journal, I suppose, in a way. So and yeah, so he wrote this really like depressing poem, like, oh, she doesn't love me, I'm gonna kill myself. And then so I wrote this poem back to him, like just basically, you know, wise up. I need dictionary.com to decipher the words of this twisted piper who frets over long-lost lovers and hides under covers. Why must you worry me with tales of death? Too many suicide wails have taunted me. We women aren't worth the worry of men. I know I'm fond of commentary, but all I tell you is complimentary. I only ever notice that which I lack, yet words burn. Can I take them back? Your ability to run with emotion when feeling is a thing I shun. You can wrap yourself up in love when I just want to stand above and be so strong and solitary, or glued with a sense of propriety.